Hello there everyone, this is Mark3 and welcome to a game called Airborne Kingdom. A somewhat rarish title, I think. It's, well, it's not got that wide an awareness of it overall, with reason. But basically I put it to the Discord saying, do you want to see me doing some content on Hammerting or Airborne Kingdom next? And what response I got was Airborne Kingdom. So here we are, Airborne Kingdom. This is a laid-back, very chill kind of city builder, which, as you can see, is very much focused on its aesthetics. And unusually enough, it uses a kind of Eastern Asian-ish design concept here. If you look at the top of those towers there and the pyramid down here and that kind of thing, but it also goes its own way to set its own style kind of thing, and it very much lives and dies by that. It is very stylized, and it is a good style. It's done very well doing what it sets out to do. So yeah, that's the reason I got this game in the first place, to be honest. I really liked how it looked. And the next thing I knew, I'd spent like an afternoon on it. So, yeah. Airborne Kingdom. A nice, chill city builder. Where you play this. As you probably noticed, this building here has got gears and cogs in kind of like a industrialized theme. And also, it's flying on this slowly rotating fan. And some paddles, which are just like slowly paddling at the air to keep it up and aloft. Yeah, this is a flying city game, which is why it's called Airborne Kingdom. I was going to start talking about what I explained on Discord. You know what, I think I will. What I said about this on the Discord, I gave a little description of this and Hammerting. What I said about this is, you are playing a flying city builder, and you are seeking to reunite the scattered peoples of the world. And that is what it boils down to, honestly. So let's go ahead and start a new game in this. This new game plus, and creative mode. I will mention now that these new game plus and creative have slowly been added over time. So this game is getting a slow trickle of updates since it came out, like over a year ago at this point. But for the most part, this thing is feature complete and is definitely highly polished. And that's one of the best things I can say about it, honestly. It's very highly polished. I know, I'm probably underselling this game, but anyway, yeah. Let's go on. Let's go on to a new game. Hard mode is also something they worked into it. And since I'm just fine on normal, we're going to be playing on hard, make it a little bit tougher, and in we go.
In a bygone age, a kingdom existed like no other. This kingdom did not anchor its power. This kingdom took to the skies. The Airborne Kingdom traveled to every kingdom on the ground, sharing knowledge, culture, and tradition. Its great council guided the lands through a golden age. Yet, long before even our elders can remember, the Airborne Kingdom vanished. The people sought to continue their harmony, but self-interest began to overrule. The land's 3 regions slowly isolated. Trade, travel, connections all unwound. Kingdoms contracted, and small settlements nearby were nearly wiped away. Bygone times turned to legend. But in the tapestry we found instructions. A blueprint to remake the technology of the ancients. A prophecy to restore the Airborne Kingdom. There was but one belief we had wrong that day, though it proved vital. For such a finding was no chance at all.
There we go, that's the intro. Sadly, there's not much voice acting in this game. It's just the intro and the outro, if I recall correctly, though I have not honestly touched this game in a while. But here we go. Liftoff. All our painstaking efforts have succeeded. Our home flies, yet this is only the beginning. To truly rebuild the Ancients' vision, we need to find every kingdom upon the land and befriend them as common allies. We also need inhabitants to form our great council in this new empire. We should start with the kingdom of Rutula, not far from us and the only kingdom we know. But first, we must build houses and find supplies. Let us begin. So, we start. We have our town centre, which looks a bit like a boat hull if you view it from the side, but it's very much a loft, so maybe they got to the island with a boat, and then they converted it into the town centre using the blueprints they found. But as you can see, very stylized map, as I said before. That, by the way, is the edge of the world. You can see the edge of the map all torn up in the distance over there. And yes, you've got this very decorative styling actually forming the ground beneath us, as well as the islands. There's this here, the Tapestry Ruin. An unremarkable ruin is half covered in sand, similar to the hundreds scattered across the barrens, and yet within its walls we find the prophecy that we hope can change the fate of an empire. For at the beginning of this legend, the Tapestry Ruin was still unmarked and unknown, and yet through the course of our story it would become the genesis of myth. From Journals of Our Travels by Muluab, the Second Chronicler, we return to our home. So yeah, this is our perspective really. We need to stay up here and fly. Move around, gather resources and things like that. Like this over here. So let us begin. I right click, a target buoy pops up and the settlement starts moving that way. Off we go. I find it amusing that little flaps on the sides are apparently doing enough to help us. I don't know how this thing stays aloft, but it looks pretty sweet doing it. Okay, so that's how we move around. Resource deposits, as you can see, are highlighted as we go. They have a number next to them, which is the quantity of resources we can harvest. And they do replenish over time, so we can wander off and then come back to pick up more resources later. So that is a thing. However, we do have some goals to get started with. First off, we have 9 people, but they have no houses. Currently we are satisfied, but how well our people do and how well we can recruit people as we go depends on our mood. If we are mediocre, I think we can recruit like 1 person from a village. Satisfied increases that to 2, jubilant becomes 3. So to get the most out of it, you need to keep your people happy. Up here we've got inhabitants, we've got food supply, which is slowly being depleted by our residents. We've got a water supply, also being slowly depleted by our residents. So food and water are needed to sustain our population. We've got lift, which is how much we can lift with our available lifting technologies and add-ons to our city. Town Centre itself provides some, but we can find other things later to help us do that. We don't have much by way of plans at the moment. Speed, that can be affected as well by various propulsion items. It also affected by tilt and weight and things like that as well. So basically, if you can move around faster, you'll do better in this game. But there is a fixed speed limit, because if we go too fast, basically we'd shake our city apart. So yeah, hard limit. Next up is the centre here. In its own little bit is coal. as you can see, he's running -1 per hour, powering the central fan. So we're always going to need coal for keeping us aloft, at the very least. And various add-ons to our city can consume coal as well. When we run out, it's not immediately game over, but our city will start to sink downwards. And when it gets too low, it crashes. So, yeah, we need to keep an eye on coal stockpile as we go. Then lastly, we have various resources in things in here. Different kinds. For building materials, we've got a overall storage capacity. And we've got relics, which we find by checking out ruins and things. But anyway, let us begin though. We need to start actually assembling our little kingdom. So we start off with some basics. Housing blocks, hangars, and paths. The academy needs more wood than we've got. The storage as well for food, warehouse for general storage, water tower for water. You know, just basic things. But right now, the thing we need is the hangar, which will allow us to start harvesting resources. And the path, which is completely free, but it does require still 0.01 lift. So we need that. We also need the houses, which cost 0.5 each. So just need to think how I want to do this. I think I will start moving this out here. Attach it to there. Okay. My plan is to have, I think, warehouses here. Yep, that bolts in quite nicely. And I will install the hangar around, I think, here. Notice the entire city shook there. That is because center of lift is also important. So you can probably see we are now slightly crooked because of that. But oh well, that is a problem I am willing to accept having. Don't worry, it won't matter that much. Let's see, houses. Okay. I'm just trying to plan out where I want to get some stuff. You know, I'll start putting some paths out the side here as well. As a note, by the way, you can't actually directly attach stuff to this scaffold around the town centre, apart from paths. All the other structures have to be attached to the paths, so that is why I'm starting to try and lay some stuff around a bit. I don't think I can attach the housing directly onto this, can I? No, I can't. You know what, sure, I'll be generous. I'll put paths along the side as well. See, people? I care! Supposedly. No promises are made. Click, 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 click. There we go. Okay, yeah, so we're starting. Let's go ahead and start our work, because we've got our hangar, and each hangar right now can supply 5 population to go and harvest something within reach of our city. So it allows for up to 5. Each one gets 2 per trip, and they fly down, get it, bring it back. So let's dispatch them. And they just start wandering over to the hangar. Like that. And just start dropping down in these little gliders like that, you see. It's kind of daring do, honestly, but there they go. We can see where they are because of the balloons, and they do the thing. But we can still move while they're down there. We can also move our camera around separately as well if we want to, like this as well. So, yeah. And look at this. This is kind of silly. As they come back, they do this little loop-the-loop, and then just come back in on that really small landing ramp. But, yeah, they're very daring, the people, but they have to be daring to be doing this in the first place, aren't they? Anyway, let's actually get starting some housing. I think to counterbalance this, I will start by putting things down over here. We only have a 1 degree tilt to the front at the moment. But as you can see, it's measuring. It is there. Just going to start putting houses back here to try and counterweight it a little bit. Let's put there. I'd forgotten you could hear the cogs if you get really close onto it. But one thing I will do as well is I will speed this up. Now, there were things I was going to mention, but I forgot to because I am me. So, Airborne Kingdoms, I say it's not as well known as it used to. Well, I'll explain that one by filling you in on the story a little bit of this game. So this game actually first appeared, I believe it was at a gaming convention, I forget which one, in about 2018-ish, somewhere around there. So definitely a bit ago at this point. So yeah, about 2018-ish. And they started crowdfunding for development because it was a new studio. You know, the kind of for I'm going on about. New place, crowdfunding, get projects off the ground. They were originally planning for a Steam and GOG release. Oh, that place is... Yep, that forest is now empty. Look, all the trees are gone. It's done. But I'm going to move over here because there's more resources. I'm going to... my water is depleting, so I'm going to send some people down for water. Wood, we still need a whole bunch of. There is coal over there. I'll send someone down after the coal. And then I'll send... Yeah, insufficient aircrafts because, of course, hangar has a maximum capacity on it. But that'll start harvesting just this general area as we go. And yes, there's buildings there, I'll get to that in a second. So, that was the thing. But this was actually around the time of the rise of the Antichrist for some people, the Archdemon, the Epic Game Store. Yeah, I think you immediately see why some people looking at this video have not heard of this game. Epic Game Store was just starting out. They were being hyper aggressive. They were bribing, well, I say bribing, they were attracting aspiring developers to join their store for limited time exclusives with guaranteed sales, which, especially for a starting or small developer, would be incredibly attractive. That's why it was so successful. And one of the games that did this was Airborne Kingdom. So this game is on the Epic Store. It's not exactly very costly, but it became an Epic Store exclusive. I'm pretty sure that the year time has elapsed, but there has been no sign, unfortunately, of it moving away from being just an Epic Store game. So it seems that like Epic is where it is going to stay. So yeah, this game has moved on to Epic, unfortunately. I think we're going to be okay. So just keep the game speed going up a bit faster. And that's why people don't really know this game that well anymore. It went to Epic, it's made no signs of coming back. Which is honestly a shame. I think this game would do well if it actually went for its Steam and GOG releases now. It would get more eyes on it, it would get more sales. Water storage is almost full. Okay, I'll pull my people back off that. I think I will... I don't really need much coal right now. I think wood is what I need, so I'll deploy people there and I'll move a little bit. So yeah. But yeah, that's basically how this game came to be, somewhat unknown, which is a shame. Anyway, let's move on. This is, I believe, one of the villages. Yep, small settlements. We approach a hovel on the edge of nowhere. Some settlers may wish to join us and leave the land's toil behind. Settlers by necessity are hard and tireless. I recalled our own home just abandoned. The people here would have to uproot for their lives soon, like we did. For Memorials of the Distant Past by Muhab the Second Chronicler. So basically, our group used to be in a settlement, but the hard times came and we had to leave. We couldn't keep it going. So there we go, a little bit of background going on there. We look for migrants. A few seemed intrigued by our vision, but they want assurances they're leaving for a happier home. The sun-caked faces were as hard as leather. Most workers ignored our presence and continued their thankless tasks. So this is how it works. So these small settlements, they can offer you up to 3 recruits, and as I said, how well you can recruit them depends on mood for the most part. So I'm jubilant, I can recruit all 3. At least mediocre to get the first one. at least satisfied overall to get the second, and at least jubilant to get the third. So we just got 3 more people. Hooray! We return to other matters. And that's all we can really do with the villagers themselves, though there are more things around to have a look at. Also, yeah, the forest has just been completely harvested, so hooray! I'll send someone down there as well. And let's move this way. There is something else going on. Actually, there's something I forgot to mention, which I think I should do now. And it is something that's addressed slightly in the New Game Plus, as I understand it, though I've not looked at it. This game is somewhat randomized. Like, it's got these big preset islands and the existing kingdoms kind of thing. But they are shuffled around a bit, so exactly where they are is different for each playthrough. We always start in this one, but where the others are, where some of the individual kingdoms are, can get shuffled around. It's semi-randomized, I think, is probably the best way to say it. But the New Game Plus actually randomizes it further, adds some new elements, so that's the one you do when you finish the main game, and you can bring your city forward into the new game. Anyway, Florescent Ponds. The number of small ponds glow with strange colours next to a small abandoned settlement. The walls of the building are dyed in a similar colour to the waters. The source of the pigments is a mystery, but it appears we can change the colours of our own buildings with these new dyes. There you go. Take the dyes to customise our own buildings. And that's what this game is about, really. It's like wandering around looking, exploring, and finding new and exciting things. Because basically you've got to look at each island you come across from all directions to pick out these little settlements and resource pockets and things, to try and discover everything you can as you go. And I am going to go over there, because that's the way I want to go now. Because anyway, we're full on coal. We don't need to harvest any more coal. People don't automatically unassign, so I'll tell them to come back. That's some food. We do need some food, so 5. But there is another building we now need to avail ourselves of, because we do have enough idle people to build an academy, which unlocks our development and tech tree. And I think I'll install it. Yeah, I'll install it back here. There we go. Hopefully that's counterbalanced my weight a little bit with the hanger out front, but hey, details. Unfortunately, that's going to tie people to it. Anyway, the academy opens our tech tree. We can start to research technologies, and we can take ground technology and adapt it for our use in the skies. So the kingdoms do offer some ground blueprints we can acquire from them, and then we can start to develop those. Anyway, a Adobe kiln is what we want first. It completes in 2 hours. Then there's an efficiency upgrade, 8 hours, and another efficiency upgrade, 22 hours. This is generally how it works. There's a given number of hours for each thing, for each tier in these lists. And the academies do stack their efforts, so having more academies will multiply how well you do. But here we go. Hangar, extra craft in them, and extra gathering speed. Houses can become more efficient, and can also be stacked higher, so you don't need to expand outwards. Town centre can be made better lift, better storage, and regain more resources when moving or destroying buildings, so makes general efficiency stuff. Everything can be improved, and some things can be mixed as well. But first we have to get the ground technologies, which are the top row of things. Adobe kiln, thank you. That's a very important one, actually, Adobe kiln. Anyway, moving on. Let's see, I want to say food storage is full. I want to say let's boost our research, sorry, our material gather rates up, because we want to do that. Anyway, we've been sitting here for a little bit. Let's go ahead and do something, which is, there's that ruin just down there. And ruins, you can go to them once with a worker to get relics. Relics are traded in at kingdoms to get tech. So that's how you get those ground techs. You have to find these ruins and then go out and do the thing. Also, we need some clay, which is over there. 4 relics found. That is Very nice. I was going to say we need some clay, but actually I want to get some the adobe kiln. I can't afford it yet. Okay. Send that down there. I'll also start to harvest some clay. All my workers are currently occupied now. Just go ahead and do this. But yeah, this is the basics of the game as we slowly wander around and expand. There's only like 5 minutes left on this episode. I'll probably start including time skips later on. It's just this first one I wanted to be more of a bit of an introduction to the game as well. So that's why I was explaining things about its history, its where it's come from, that kind of thing. I need 3 people spare to do that. I've not left anyone on the thicket, have I? I don't think I have. I just have to wait because now we need resources. And this is why I say time skipping might be more prudent to have later, because there is a lot of time spent on resourcing and things. But as we get our tech up and we add more hangars and get more people, these things will speed up naturally. So it won't be that bad as our city actually starts to develop. I think I'll probably ask for a bit of feedback on that if you guys want me to keep waffling on as this game goes, or if you'd rather see me try to skip some stuff. Okay, that's empty, that's empty. It's all coming back. Excellent. Please tell me I have enough for a kiln. I do. Okay. That is another thing, by the way. There is a pollution mechanic in the game. It's a pretty basic one, but it is there. Industrial buildings have a radius negative effect on them, which will hinder severely houses and things that are too close. So, you see this red circle here? Oh look, if I put it there, it would be too close to that, so bad idea. I think I'll just expand the path out slightly further. And back here will be the industrial sector of my little city. And I think I'll install that there. Okay, that's looking good, and we'll move over this way. Because there is that last thing that I want to make sure to introduce in this first episode. Well, first off, automatic processing for resources automatic, so that all the people go to it, come back, go forth. I can't actually unassign the people from this. So if I want to unassign people and get them back into free labour, I have to dismantle the building. But as long as I've got the base resource, this will continuously process it into adobe clay, which is one of the more important resource blocks for building stuff. But anyway, here we are. Kingdom of Rutula. So these guys are our first kingdom. And you can see there's more lands around the place. We can wander around and explore some more. There's different things. Oh, there's a ruin over there. There's a ruin. That's in reach, so I'll send a worker immediately over to it because reasons. Off you go. And we've got a fair bit of clay. We're actually a bit low on water, so I'll start draining from this oasis, I think. Now, the kingdoms. We need to ally with the kingdoms and reunite the people, so here we go. Kingdom of Rutula. To fulfill the prophecy, we must have Rutula allied with us, our machines awe the crowds and give an audience with the Queen. We may also seek ancient blueprints that we can combine with our own knowledge to make wondrous technology. Our maiden arrival to Rutula was more dire than we had expected, for their kingdom was further in ruin than our rumours had ever told. So you can see everything's collapsing basically. So, get quests, I can seek for technology, and because it's the main kingdom, I can barter for resources if I so desperately need to. So this is another source of resources if we really, really need to. But, well, harvesting resources is free. Basically, you just have to get over there and send your workers down to it for time. Here we have to pay with other resources to do it, so it depends on how much you need the resource. Anyway, they seek our assistance. We need to do quests for them. Only a few per kingdom, but we need to do it. They seek our assistance for an important task. The Queen tells that the Great Conservatory is in ruin. If only we could find the resources and lend some of our workforce to its reconstruction. Completing such requests is the first step to gaining a kingdom's trust and eventually reconnecting them together to establish the prophecy once more. The Queen of Retinue looked no more regal than her subjects, save for a tall golden leaf reaching high above her head. It was clear that our aid was meant to re-establish some grandeur to her stature. Rebuild the Great Conservatory, which requires 10 wood, 2 adobe clay, and 2 workers for 1 hour. We can do that really quick, we just need a little bit of wood. There's some wood over there. How's our water doing? Our water is slowly ticking up. We will want some storage for that in a little bit as well, but what we need is a bit of wood, so send a worker that way. Ideally I want to get more wood actually, because we are kind of low, so strip mine it please, with all available workers. I forgot where I sent the other workers. Okay, yeah, this is what we know about the world so far. Map, population, allies. Notice the game only requires 150 population. You can go beyond that quite easily. You can get several hundred without too much trouble. But there we go. We've actually got enough wood for the quest now. But unfortunately, if we go back to do the quest, it will be a little bit too far, I think, for people that are harvesting over here. Oh, you know what I mean. Oh, I almost forgot something important as well. Should probably mention the goals for this particular play. I think the play is simply complete the main quest. 4 workers stop gathering because we moved out of range, so they're just coming straight back. The main quest is, as you saw, get 12 allied kingdoms and 150 people. That's our goal. If I set the goal for 100% completion, then we'd be here a lot longer, if I'm going to be honest. And I don't want to commit to that, so just the main quest is what we're going to try and do. But we have the stuff, we can do this, rebuild the conservatory. We gave the required materials and workers to reconstruct the Great Conservatory. We must wait nearby for its completion. We can also do this, give you a quick look at the market. No merchant offers a fair price, but if we're desperate we can trade at a loss, so we can swap any resource around, really. But tech, we search for technologies in the depths below Rutula. We must pay to have them excavated, and to work in the sky we must research what we find further, but these would be a start. These are, for the most part, these are randomized. I think there's like maybe 1 guaranteed in certain kingdoms, but the rest is shuffled around, so it's random order what you get when. Glass smelter I think you always get here though, because that's like an initial refinery structure. But in this one we've got vertical rotors, which is a lift generator. It just get the correct tooltip up. Average cost, high fuel, which means it burns a lot of coal. Average lift output, but it doesn't need workers to continue operating. So that's a very powerful one if we can keep it fed with coal. And we got a propeller, high cost, average fuel consumption, average speed, and 2 workers. So this thing trades some fuel requirement down for needing 2 workers to be assigned to it in return for boosting our movement speed, which, as you can see, as we've gotten bigger, has dropped. So we do need those. We need both of those. We've got 7, so we can pick both of those up. And there's a rune nearby as well, so we can do that as well. So let's return to our home. We just need to let our people do the thing. So I'll deploy my last couple of workers over to the coal deposit there. Oh yeah, colour. I forgot. We got the colour thing. Any building you click on, customise the motifs. Right now we can assign light colours to it. We can assign metal colours if we find those later. But the one we picked up, the dyes, is walls and floor tiles. Oh, hanger upgraded. They are now 50% faster when they are gathering the resources. Doesn't pause the game, by the way, so I do need to actually click in and do the thing. Adobe Kiln could upgrade that, but kind of want to continue boosting things. Let's get... let's get extra planes in our hangars. Make our hangars more effective. I don't think that we can do anything to do... less propeller. We can make it more powerful, and we can make it use less fuel. by a significant amount, which is very important if we plan to use it. Sorry, anyway. I keep getting distracted because I know this is the end of the video. So, if I select you, this is our town centre, so it provides the floor tiles option, which is... Actually, no, that's per building, isn't it? So, changing the floor tiles, I can apply to all buildings of this type, or I can apply it to all buildings on the entire city. So, there goes the floor tiles being slightly shifted. So, I know it's not much, but it's like applying to all buildings that are going on. If you look at the house there, it's not much difference right now, but there are more vibrant ones later. The walls, as you can see, we can change the entire city to have like a different colour scheme to it, and it'll mix and match things up a bit, which is definitely an interesting way to do it. Some things look good, some things don't, but you know, we can also do things to the lights, like yellow lights, red lights, purple lights. Let's apply green lights, and I guess let's go to our basic walls, and how about orange? How's that look? Just a little bit of light customization going on. So yeah, we don't have much to work with, but again, we will discover those things as we go. Anyway, I believe that has been completed, so we need to allow time to progress again, and conservatory is completed. Great. With our resources and labour, the conservatory is again whole. Upon seeing our efforts, a couple of locals join our cause, agreeing to take part in our great council. Yet the great conservatory is still withered, its grove rotted. The Queen asks us to find a sapling from the golden trees of Calduar. Or is it... no, Caldaur. Dower? Dower? No, it's not D-U-A, it's Dower. Dower. If I stop to agonise about pronunciation, I'll be here all day. To replant their once bountiful gardens. The exact whereabouts of the trees is unknown, but their rumored location is marked on our map. When we understood the Queen's need for the conservatory, for its magnificent grove was a symbol of unity, and the Rutuans would stand with any queen who returned its glory. We shall find the Golden Grove. So there we go, we got our second quest from these guys. Every time you finish a quest, you get some extra people coming in. It's, I think it's 3 per quest every time. Does mean we need more houses, but it is a steady source of extra people. Extra people, we've got the houses going up now. And it's given us our objective, which is somewhere in this area over here. So it's given us a direction at the very least. But that is also going to be it for this first episode, I am afraid. I need to get moving, I've got places to be. And I've covered the basics of the game, I think, fairly well. And yeah, it can be a little bit slow when you're just going around on basic speed, so that's why I just crank it up to full and let it go, basically. It's kind of like how I prefer to play it. But yeah, this has been Airborne Kingdoms. It is available on the Epic Store, and to my knowledge nowhere else, unless you want to get an illegitimate copy. But yeah, thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later.